Welcome back, my horror-loving friends. Today again, I've brought for you a similar. If you haven't watched my previous video yet, the link is available in the description and pinned comment. You'll definitely enjoy that video. So let's now start the video. The story of the film begins in a dense forest, where we see a man searching for a woman named Vaijanti. Just then, he finds Vaijanti's anklet lying there. But suddenly, a shadowy figure's hand touches his head, due to which a light spreads all around. After seeing something, the man screams loudly, and the scene cuts off right there. In the next scene, we are shown four friends, where Omeo, who is a police officer, is with his girlfriend Mitul, and Pallav, who is a contractor, is with his doctor wife Taitash. All of them have taken some time off from their busy schedules and have come to the valleys of Chamakpur village. Pallav actually wants to open a resort here. That's why all of them come and stay near the location of the resort. Here, Pallav and Omeo, due to the narrow path, go on foot to see the location, while Taitash and Mitul decide to stay near the car. But here, both of them feel a strange silence in the forest. So when they return to sit in the car, a very enchanting fragrance reaches Mitul and Taitash. When they follow that fragrance, they see a very old idol of the goddess. Just then, a call comes on Taitash's phone, so she moves a little away from that place. But Mitul is drawn towards that figure, so she starts cleaning that idol. But just then, a light flashes inside the idol, and Mitul, scared, falls down. At that moment, we see an entity approaching Mitul in anger, and that invisible entity enters into Mitul, due to which she struggles for a while, but then immediately becomes normal. As soon as she becomes normal, Mitul walks away from there in fear, but her handkerchief is left behind. Maybe by touching that idol of the goddess, Mitul has triggered something ominous. Anyway, all of them return to their guest house, where the owner Pema welcomes them. At night, we are shown Pema's wife Dupshin, who is worried that even in this cold weather, the food she prepares is spoiling quickly. Dupshin tells Pema that he shouldn't have accepted bookings at this time. Meanwhile, from Mitul and Omeo's conversation at night, we come to know that Mitul's uncle is a very big paranormal expert and counselor who lives in a nearby city. Just then, we are shown Mitul's uncle, Narendranath Bhaduri, who is lighting candles, engaged in a ritual. He was someone who dealt with and had a deep interest in paranormal forces. After that, he is shown giving a lecture where he explains that just like the species of humans called Homo sapiens, in the same way, there are also species of spirits and ghosts, and they exist around us in the form of energy. Just like energy can't be seen, but it can affect us, similarly, spirits or ghosts affect us too, and they move in a kind of loop. That's why sometimes people say that a soul didn't get peace. What it really means is that their soul, in the form of energy, is stuck in that loop. And why are they scary? Because they've been trapped here for many years and are extremely angry. Meanwhile, when all of them go out to explore the place, Mitul feels as if someone is following her. Here, when Pallav and Omeo go out at night to get drinks, they find that even the beer kept there has started rotting. At night, when everyone is partying, Mitul suddenly feels like vomiting, and when she steps outside, a bunch of hair comes out of her mouth. But suddenly, Mitul's expression changes and she eats the hair back again. Later that night, Mitul hears someone crying near the window of her room. When Mitul goes to check, she finds the same handkerchief lying there, the one she used to clean the idol of the goddess. Scared, she wakes up Taitash, and when both go outside to check, they see fresh blood marks near the window. But here we are also shown Pema's wife Dupshin, who was watching them. Later that night, Taitash wakes up to a strange sound, and Mitul wasn't in the room. Nervously, when she goes toward the sound, she sees that it was Mitul who was scratching the floor with her nails. And seeing Mitul in that state, it was clear that she was possessed by someone. Now we are shown a flashback of a past incident where Pema's brother Lakpa's wedding is shown. This was the same guy we saw at the beginning, and his bride was Vaijanti. Now the story moves back to the four friends, where Taitash was worried about Mitul's behavior, so she tells Omeo to take her out somewhere. As soon as they leave, Taitash tells Pallav everything that happened yesterday, but Pallav doesn't pay much attention to it. Meanwhile, on the way, Mitul's behavior seems odd and changed, but due to a crowd gathering at one place, Omeo goes to check. He finds out that some animal has died there. A local man takes him to show a footprint, where Omeo sees blood stains and a strange footprint. When Omeo returns to that same spot, he is shocked to see Mitul playing with the dead body of that animal and smiling weirdly. Seeing Mitul like that, all of her friends panic. When Taitash is changing Mitul's clothes, Mitul suddenly speaks in a strange voice, saying, "All of them will die." This scares Taitash terribly. Now, everyone was extremely worried about Mitul. Even Omyo started feeling that this was something else affecting Mitul. Here, Taitash suggests that they should urgently call Mitul's uncle Narendra Nath Bhaduri, because if this is something paranormal, only he can control it, and if it's not, then at least Mitul can get some counseling. Although Pallav was against this. We get to know through Taitash how once Uncle Bhaduri saved one of her patients' lives using his powers, and since then, Taitash respects him a lot. Soon, Uncle Bhaduri arrives and goes into Mithul's room to meet her. On seeing him, Mitul speaks in a demonic voice, summoning someone. Here, Bhaduri Uncle also sees a ritual sign that Mitul had made on the room's floor. He understands that this is surely the effect of paranormal forces on Mitul. Just then, Pema's friend informs them that Badshah saw something in the forest, and since then, he has been very sick. Badshah was actually Pema's friend. After hearing this, Omyo and Pallav go with Pema and see that Badshah is performing a ritual, repeating the words, "She will come." Here, Omyo learns from Badshah that he saw a woman in the forest this evening eating a human being. Hearing this, being a police officer, Omyo decides to go investigate in the forest because he feels that what Badshah described, Mitul was also doing something similar with that animal's dead body, so there could be a connection between the two. Pallav also joins Omyo, and with the help of a local villager, they head out to investigate that place. Meanwhile, we see Uncle Bhaduri checking through one of his tantric books, but he doesn't find the symbol Mitul drew anywhere in the book, which means this was something personal or unique because he had no idea about that symbol. So he goes to Mitul, who was banging her head against the wall. As soon as Bhaduri Uncle arrives, a lot of paranormal disturbance starts. Chairs move back and forth, candles start lighting up on their own, and Mitul becomes aggressive. But Bhaduri Uncle starts chanting mantras, making her weaker. Now Mitul starts muttering strange things like, "There are many stars in the sky. There are stones on the road. My back is getting scratched. Someone is choking me. My throat is getting scraped." She now also says that with her, someone has come from the forest who is still here, standing behind Bhaduri Uncle. Here, we see a shadowy figure, but just then, Mitul somehow controls herself and requests Bhaduri Uncle to save Omyo and Pallav, because they are in the forest. Meanwhile, during the investigation in the forest, Pallav and Omyo encounter the same lady who looked like some kind of creature. She attacks them, but right then, Bhaduri Uncle arrives and using the power of his mantras, drives her away and saves Pallav and Omyo's lives. Back at the guest house, Bhaduri Uncle tells them that the woman they saw in the forest was actually a Dakini, and there is one more like her called Shakini. Both Dakini and Shakini are associated with the fierce forms of Adi Shakti, goddess Kali. Dakini and Shakini are known as divine beings associated with Tantra, mantra, and occult rituals. They do not come on their own. They have to be summoned, and when the goddess is extremely angry and takes her furious form, then Dakini or Shakini may appear. They have multiple purposes. Sometimes they may appear as goddesses, other times as protectors. This totally depends on the intention of the person who summons or awakens. Here, Omyo asks that if they believe the goddess is angry, then can't Bhaduri Uncle calm her down through prayer? But Bhaduri Uncle says it's not that simple because the goddess has many avatars and forms. So first, they must identify which form of the goddess is angry. Besides that, he tells them that Mitul has been possessed by a spirit, and in such a condition, taking her away from here will make it harder to cure her. Therefore, they must stay right here and treat her. Even in this condition, Mitul was helping everyone. That's why she created the yantra ritual symbol, which was actually a clue, and she was the one who sent Bhaduri Uncle to the forest to save Omyo and Pallav. Because Mitul is a pure-hearted and kind girl, that's why she was easier to possess. At night, we see Lakpa, who comes again, calling out Vaijayanti's name, but his condition seems strange to Bhaduri Uncle, and Omyo catches him. Just then, Pema and his wife arrive, and Pema explains that ever since Lakpa's wife was killed by wild animals in the forest, he has been searching for her in the forest and behaving like a madman. But Bhaduri Uncle tells them that Lakpa is not mad, he is cursed. From here, multiple layers of the story begin to unfold. Dupshin reveals that Lakpa was first married to a girl named Rita who loved Lakpa deeply and was a very devotional type of woman. But Rita had hidden a disease from Lakpa, which was vitiligo, in which the skin starts turning white. Lakpa came to know about this only when Rita was pregnant. Disgusted by Rita's disease, Lakpa started distancing himself from her because the villagers also believed it to be a contagious disease. Against Rita's will, Lakpa gave her medicines which killed her baby inside the womb. Even after doing all this, when Rita didn't recover, Lakpa publicly shamed her, called the disease dangerous in front of the villagers, and threw her out of the house. Rita was emotionally shattered. After that, Lakpa met Vaijayanti and the two soon got married. But one night, Rita came to meet Vaijayanti and told her many terrible things about Lakpa. She said that Lakpa is still in a relationship with her, and once Vaijayanti's beauty fades, Lakpa will throw her out too. Hearing all this, Vaijayanti and Lakpa's relationship started to fall apart. Vaijayanti became silent and gradually started acting strange. One night, the villagers saw Vaijayanti going into the forest, and since then, she has been missing. What happened to Vaijayanti that night in the forest is still unknown, but we are shown Lakpa, who enters the forest and sits beside a skeleton, likely the skeleton of Vaijayanti. Then we are shown in flashback that a half-dead Vaijayanti was being dragged through the forest to that same goddess idol that was shown in the beginning. There, some rituals were performed, and Vaijayanti was sacrificed. And the one who performed the sacrifice was Rita. After that, everyone goes to search Lakpa's house, where in the storeroom, they find the same kind of ritual yantra. They are involved in rituals and are people who deal with and are interested in paranormal forces. Bhaduri Uncle explains this yantra is ancient and dangerous, used to awaken the goddess's fierce form, and only someone whose lineage has practiced this can perform it. Dupshin reveals Rita was the daughter of a priestly family, and after her parents died, she considered the goddess her mother. She may have awakened the fierce form of the goddess and hypnotized Vaijayanti. Since the sacrifice is needed to awaken the fierce form, Rita sacrificed Vaijayanti to take revenge on Lakpa and the village. Taitash falls ill and returns to the guest house. Omyo and Bhaduri Uncle burn the yantra. Pallav still doesn't believe all this and is only worried about his resort plans. He tries to inject Mitul to take her to the hospital, but the needle breaks. Mitul attacks Pallav and starts shouting, "Call her!" Taitash enters, and Mitul lets go of Pallav, handing her handkerchief to Taitash. Seeing the handkerchief, Bhaduri Uncle realizes that Vaijayanti's spirit was under Rita's control and couldn't give the handkerchief before. Now that the yantra is destroyed, Vaijayanti's spirit wants revenge on Rita, and Mitul is the medium. Pallav is severely criticized for his selfishness. Omio and Bhaduri Uncle go to see the idol again, but the atmosphere worsens, so they return. They involve local police to find Rita because finding her is essential. Bhaduri Uncle tells villagers that the forest goddess Parnashavarir is a benevolent deity who grants blessings and protects from disease. But Rita, with her wicked intentions, awakened her fierce form. She's taking revenge on the villagers who once shunned her. To stay safe, people are advised to draw protective yantras outside their homes, avoid the forest in the evening, never eat meat during this time, and never look back if someone calls them. Rita is also shown she sees Vaijayanti's spirit but is not scared since she too is a worshipper. However, she apologizes to the spirit. Vaijayanti isn't in a forgiving mood. Omio and Pallav find Rita and beg her to forgive everyone because the goddess's wrath is killing people with strange illnesses. Rita explains that the goddess supported her after she was banished. She was told to awaken the goddess but didn't know sacrifices need consent. She hypnotized Vaijayanti, which the goddess didn't accept, so Vaijayanti's soul couldn't be freed. Still, she cannot forgive the village or Lakpa. Omio falls to his knees and pleads for Mitul's life. Rita is touched, questioning if a man can love a woman this deeply. She asks them to return in the evening as she needs time to think. Taitash and Bhaduri Uncle discuss that Rita must return to save Mitul. Meanwhile, Taitash and Bhaduri realize Mitul can only be saved if Rita comes. Vaijayanti's spirit is free but needs Rita to get her revenge. She'll use Mitul as a medium, and Mitul's life is in danger. That day, Mitul had wiped the statue of the goddess, removing a protective invisible layer, allowing Vaijayanti to possess her. That evening, Omio receives a letter from Rita. She was ready to help, but Pallav insulted her by offering money for her help. Feeling humiliated, she refuses to assist. Now things go worse again. Pema informs them that even children are falling sick. Bhaduri decides they must fight this once and for all. He, Omio, and Pallav return to the idol for worship. Since dark forces, Dakini and Shakini, also roam that forest, Bhaduri sends Omio and Pallav back for safety. He begins his ritual alone. Soon dark forces start circling around him. We learn his true plan. He is going to sacrifice himself. Just then, Pallav arrives and stops him. He says he's been selfish all along, thinking only about his resort and business, and that instead, he should make the sacrifice. He cuts his hand, and the idol glows brightly. We see Vaijayanti's spirit standing in Lakhba's room. Suddenly, the goddess appears in front of Bhaduri and Pallav. A spine-chilling moment with powerful background music. The scene cuts there. In the morning, we see the village, children, and Taitash, who wakes up hearing Mitul's voice. She finds Mitul normal again. Omio arrives and is overjoyed to see her okay. But they don't find Bhaduri and Pallav at the guest house, so they return to the idol. There, they find both unconscious. When revived, they say the goddess forgave them. Even Bhaduri's leg illness was healed. Pallav's cut was gone. Bhaduri tells everyone that this was possible only because of Pallav, who sacrificed himself for everyone. Then, Pema and Dupchen come and tell them that Lakpa died last night. Vaijayanti came for him, and the goddess chose him as the final vessel, thereby sparing the innocent. Just then, Bhaduri receives a call for a new case, and the series ends here. To know what new dangers await in the next season, comment below. And if you enjoyed The Curse of Parnashavarir, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Even a simple emoji comment motivates us to keep going. Hope you won't disappoint. We'll meet again soon with a new thrill.